All right, creatures of the night, welcome to Talking Taker episode 101 of our encyclopedic exploration, digging up the career of the greatest professional wrestling character of all time. My name is Alex Dorio, and I thank you for joining us for yet another round of Dead Man Talking. And I am joined, as always, by my tag team partner, my wrestling buddy, my fellow creature of the night, the Voodoo child himself, Mr. Travis White. And Travis, dude, I'm afraid that our time-traveling hearse, we hop in it every week. We're back in it this week. We haven't recorded in a while, because we recorded that last episode a couple weeks early, so maybe it's a little rusty, a little out of function, but I think our time traveling hearse got the gas pedal got stuck, and we went like all the way back to 1992 with the build for this match that we're talking about, Judgment Day 2004. What is going on here, man?
I think we did. I'm looking for episodes of Funeral Parlor and stuff like that when we're doing this. Dude, this is 2004, but you could absolutely put it back in 92 or 94 and it would fit just as well. Actually, it fit better back then. So,
yes, exactly.
Crazy. This is insane.
It's something else, man, and we're gonna pick it apart. There's some fun stuff, but there's some yikes-a-roni and cheese, extra cheese on here. But we'll talk about that. We're talking Undertaker versus Booker T. Undertaker's return to SmackDown after being off since Survivor Series 2003, and his real return to form after WrestleMania 20 and his big dead man comeback at Madison Square Garden that we got to be there for, a real peak in his career. And this one, it's going to be a downhill ride here for a little while, but we'll talk about that. And while I was saying this build may be stuck in the past, The Undertaker himself seems to be looking to the future here in 2019, my man, because we are coming off of Extreme Rules 2019, and we won't spend too much time talking about it because we'll devote an entire episode to it one day, many, many months into the future when we reach that point in The Undertaker's career. But man, Undertaker and Roman Reigns, the Graveyard Dogs, picked up a win over Drew McIntyre and Shane McMahon. Just a crazy sentence to speak in the year 2019. But the match seems to be getting pretty universal praise from Taker's fans and everybody online, the wrestling community. A lot of people weren't looking forward to it, but seemed to get great reviews. What say you, my friend?
And it was fantastic. I thought it was crazy that he was jerking the curtain. And honestly, I was very blown away. I think I texted you. I was like, when's the last time this happened? And we'll go into more detail on it on that episode when we get into it. But I think it was about a decade ago, 2009, when he did that. But I was surprised. But you know what? I thought this match was the best match of the night as far as sports entertainment-wise. Like, it was fantastic. There were other hard-hitting matches that were pretty good, but this match was the best sports entertainment match. It was fantastic. It had everything, and I cannot put over the production value when Taker rises up and Drew McIntyre comes over his shoulder, and you see it. Man, I got chills watching it. I was like so excited just at how cool that production shot was. So, yeah, great match, great finish. Loved it. Loved it, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I second all of that, especially that camera shot. And
that's good.
That's a great way to put it. It was a great sports entertainment match. A lot of the things that we've talked about on this podcast, and The Undertaker is a great example of, you don't have to do a lot of fancy moves to tell a great story. And I mean, that's what we're going to see out of him at his best here in 2019 when he's in his 50s. I mean, it's going to be, he's not going to be doing the dive over the top rope, really. Or he shouldn't be. I hope he doesn't try to bust that out at any point, but he can still tell a great story. And this was perfect, man. We talked about it on here. I think you brought it up. Tag team matches, do more of these here in 2019. Mix it up with some of these younger guys. Let him be the tag team specialist that we know him to be. He was awesome over there working the hot tag and getting the crowd into it. Just old school techniques. It's crazy to me that Shane McMahon can have a better match with Undertaker than Goldberg can in 2019. I guess it's not that crazy if you really think about it, but if you just say that out loud, it seems kind of weird. Although he had a little botch there at the finish as well. But Shane couldn't quite get up for the tombstone, but it was all right.
Yeah. Well, he had a botch with SmackDown this evening as well. Stunner. And but you know what? They called out Goldberg on Monday Night Raw. It was kind of funny. Dolph Ziggler did, so that was pretty funny. But anyway, yeah. It is what it is. It was all good. And watching Taker go nose to nose with Drew McIntyre just made me want that. I don't know if that's where they're headed because there had been no build up to that this week on TV. But watching him go nose to nose with McIntyre made me want to see that.
And it seems like there may still be something there with Elias, too. Because they teased, they had him run in, playing off the night after WrestleMania. So it seems likely that those two could clash, or maybe another tag match with Taker and Roman against Elias and Drew. There's a lot of possibilities there. And even though commentary, they were putting over that, they were saying it without saying it, that Taker looked way better in that match than he has any other time. He was kind of redeeming himself a little bit in that match, but there was a little bit of a retirement tease there. I think no one's really talked about it, but I mean, he kind of gave Roman that he mouthed to him, "It's your yard now," and took his time and did his big pose after Roman's music played. And the announcers were saying, "We don't know how many more times we'll see this." I don't think it's a retirement, but it could be. I don't know, man. He was giving kind of hints towards it, and obviously he doesn't have too many more left in the tank. But I don't know.
It's something about him, Roman Reigns, man. These fake retirements. Are they real? Like, every time he gets in the ring with Roman, he's maybe retired. So we don't know. So we'll see.
We'll see. But I'm here for more Graveyard Dogs, man. I love the name, and you could run that back. A dozen more times, man. They had great chemistry together.
Oh yeah, it was good stuff, man. So I bet Turco's got one of those shirts.
He needs to add it to the collection, man. Why not at this point?
You get it, Randy.
Well, he posted one here from 2004 that was, hey boy.
Oh, yeah. That thing was rotten.
Just about as rotten as this stuff we're going to talk about. So let's get back to what we do best. Talk about the retro stuff. Let's take this time traveling hearse back to March of 2004, March 18th.
I mean, yeah. I was in 92. Excuse me. I apologize.
We'll explain what we're talking about here in a little while. This first SmackDown is not so much, but we'll get into the crazy retro stuff here. But this is SmackDown episode 239. Obviously, the SmackDown after WrestleMania and Undertaker's big win over Kane. And as you can imagine, it's a big changeover period here on Raw and SmackDown, as it typically is after WrestleMania. And this is particularly a big changeover because we're going to get the first ever draft lottery here next week on Raw. And we hadn't had a draft here in 2 years. This was before they started to do it every single year, which I like when you spread it out a little bit and let guys actually represent their brand for a little while instead of changing every single year. But, they're never going to go back to that. But anyway. They're teasing that obviously this is going to be the last time we see a lot of superstars on SmackDown, and you're definitely going to get the sense that SmackDown's in a big, big rebuilding phase over the next few weeks, and we're going to see the effects of that as they begin this process of building up some new faces and new heels here, as this is the episode of SmackDown where Rikishi and Sky 2 Hottie beat the APA in a retirement match.
So that's a trivia question. I've lost that.
Well, they think it's a retirement match for the APA, but Paul Heyman, the GM, tells the APA after the match, no, he only meant that Ron Simmons had to retire if they lost. So Farouk is like, oh man, and he tries to walk out and expecting Bradshaw to walk out with him. Bradshaw turns his back on Farouk, and this is the beginning of Bradshaw's heel push to the top. We had no idea what was coming down the pike with this, and it's going to be a huge character that's coming to play here on this podcast, and a huge reason why both of us lose a lot of interest in SmackDown over the months to come.
Oh, absolutely. And for a shoot, Ron Simmons gets fired 2 days later. So
this really is the end of his run.
Really, yeah. But yeah, this we didn't know the closing of this APA door. Backstage door is going to be opening of a door that I'd never wanted to go through, JBL. But like I said, we'll get more on that the next few weeks as we hit there. As Taker's going to tango with him quite a bit in 2004.
He will, but first he's going to tango with Paul Heyman yet again. The main event of the night is a big gauntlet match to see who's going to face Eddie Guerrero. It ends up being Rey Mysterio, and they have just a barn burner of a match here on SmackDown. I mean, as you could expect between these two. I'd forgotten about this match, but it was
too.
Yeah, it was a nice surprise.
Thing,
Did you?
It was sick.
Yeah.
It wasn't quite Halloween Havoc 97, but it was really good reminder of what they could do.
Oh, for sure.
Very good.
And Eddie escapes with the win, but the GM, Paul Heyman, comes out, and in hindsight, you can see what's going on here. They're really building him up as a heel because he's about to get written off television here for a little while and get his big comeuppance. And he's talking about how he hopes both these guys get deported to Monday Night Raw. And he guarantees that he's going to be the only man left standing on SmackDown after Monday night because he can't be drafted. Hint, hint, hint. And Heyman's gloating, saying there ain't a man alive who can stand in his way. Again, hint, hint, hint.
Yeah, not so subtlety.
The bell tolls for Heyman as Walker Taker Ranger returns to SmackDown with Paul Bearer by his side.
If he did like a spinning roundhouse kick, I would be done.
In the eyes of the Ranger.
Oh, the eyes of Taker are upon you. This is great.
Can you please write that as our new theme song? I need that to happen.
It'll take about 3 minutes, yeah.
Okay. Make it happen. I challenge you. All right. Well, he makes his full entrance here. First time on television in years. He disrobes to show these guys that he means business, and he stares he stares down at Heyman, who is quivering in the corner behind Eddie and Ray. And this is a weird few weeks where Taker's actually he's definitely mixing up Biker Taker and Dead Man Taker because he's got the Biker Taker bandana on his head too.
Yeah.
I guess his hair is not quite where he wants it to be here, so he's mixing up the looks here. And but Eddie and Ray end up shoving Heyman into Taker, and Taker gives him a stiff tombstone to end the show, man, straight on his head.
Oh yeah,
it was a fun segment. You know, they're taking it easy here the night after WrestleMania, not really starting any big storylines before we go into the draft. But it was really cool to see this entrance on TV. They're continuing to have it be a big deal when Taker comes out, and I just wanted to note it was really cool that as soon as Taker's music hits, the commentary just lays out for the rest of the show. They don't say anything during this whole beatdown, and they just let it play out, which would never happen in 2019, but it was a nice touch for this.
It really was, man. It was so refreshing to not hear commentary. Sometimes less is more, you know?
Absolutely. And
it really made this a little more grandiose of a presentation. So, again, the presentation with Taker is sets a precedent, and I don't think they've ever reached with anybody else, you know? And we've mentioned that early on in this podcast, just about the presentation and the production that they give him. And I really don't think anyone else has ever had the attention to detail like he does, man. And so it's going to get even kind of bigger and better in some of the stuff we're going to talk about too as we go on these pay-per-views and his entrances and stuff. So pretty neat.
They really amp it up these few weeks. And I said commentary laid out for this one, but over the next few weeks, they're really going to put over and over and over how big a deal it is every time Undertaker comes on TV and try to create that aura about him.
Which echoed what we just heard at Extreme Rules last weekend. Like they really did that same thing there too. So pretty neat. So so that's how Taker comes back to SmackDown, and then he's gonna I guess cash in his middle-aged ministry punk card and take 6 weeks off or so.
You can do the old Grandpa Simpson, just walk in, right back out for a month.
I guess
this man was just off TV for 6 months, comes back for one match, and dips out for another month.
He does, man. It's amazing how much this parallels today's product. I do not remember that. So, but we will touch on a couple things that do happen here in the meantime. Even though Taker's not going to be on the shows, we're building up his opponent, Booker T, here. So I want to mention on the Raw, right after that SmackDown you just covered, Raw 565 is March 22nd. This is where they have the draft lottery, like you said. And just to show you what kind of a B-show SmackDown's going to become, They get Rene Dupree, Mark Jindrak, Spike Dudley, Theodore Long, Rob Van Dam, so there's a win, and Triple H. There's a win, you'd think. And Paul Heyman is actually drafted to Raw and quits because he says that he'll never work with Eric Bischoff, which, again, if you know anything about the current product, it's pretty hilarious to see what's happening nowadays with that.
You can't write that stuff, man.
No. But Rene Dupree, Mark Jindrak, Spike Dudley, Teddy Long, RVD, and Triple H. Yeah. And one of those things is not like the others because one of those things will leave next week.
I thought you meant Teddy Long because he's a Hall of Famer. None of those other guys are.
Well, Triple H is now.
Oh, he is now. You're right.
You're right. He doesn't stay. And guess what? The rest of those guys will never be in the Hall of Fame, except maybe RVD.
RVD will, for sure.
He might.
He might. 100%, man. Give it within the next 5 years. He'll need that payday.
Well, yeah. We'll just say that. Yeah. Oh, man. But I'll hit the next SmackDown real quick too. The SmackDown 240. This is on March 25th. So it's right after the old switcherooski there with the draft or whatever. So Kurt Angle actually comes out in a suit and opens up the show, but he comes out to Triple H's music, so kind of confusing. He announces yada yada. He's the new GM of SmackDown, and he's actually traded Triple H back to Raw to get 3 great superstars. So why would you do that? I don't know. Why would you trade a WrestleMania main eventer like Triple H? I remember Pritchard talking about on his show that like it looked good on paper, but once it happened, that like Vince didn't want it to be that anymore or something. So they legitimately rewrote the scripts like the next day for SmackDown. So, well, those
Triple H doesn't work Tuesdays, man.
Exactly. He did in 2008, didn't he?
He eventually did. Yeah.
But anyway, he's traded Triple H back to Raw for 3 great superstars in his place. That's the Dudley Boys and Booker T. So,
I mean,
Hall of Famers.
They are all Hall of Famers. That's true. Maybe this trade did work out, but
maybe it did.
Yeah, this is an interesting trade to say the least.
Yeah,
I'm not sure about Kurt Angle's general managerial skills.
Yeah, he's been fired right there
on the spot.
Anyway, well. Booker comes down and says he's not happy to be on SmackDown because it's the B show, and says he's better than everyone else on SmackDown, including the champ Eddie Guerrero. So he's just calling it like he sees it, man. He's just the voice of Vince McMahon, I guess. And throughout the night, Booker keeps confronting Eddie and Angle and putting them down. And this is the night that, like I said, I know I personally lost faith in SmackDown. This is when JBL is introduced. I hated him. I hated his character, but good on him because he was a heel. I was supposed to hate him, but he got the wrong kind of hate from me, the kind of hate that actually literally turned me away from watching the show. So a lot of this stuff in 2004 is going to be new to me. And you, because you didn't have VCR or cable, and I wasn't recording some of this stuff.
Exactly, yeah.
But anyway, and then Eddie Guerrero and Booker T's main event of Thunder tonight.
What's that?
Oh, I'm sorry. The man SmackDown. I thought it was 1998 again. My bad.
It could have been, man.
Booker Eddie for the WWE TV title. Main event. But JBL ruins it and ruins SmackDown for me. So, yeah just let it be known. Just kind of telling that story because about Booker T, So,
I think the problem with
it, what it
is just it happens so fast. Like, he turns, becomes a new character, and gets slotted into the main event immediately. This tag team guy. It's the whole... They did the exact same thing with Jinder Mahal, where he's a jobber one week and wins the world title a month later. JBL, basically a jobber. He won the tag title, European title. He'd done some stuff. He's more credible than Jinder Mahal, but basically just out of nowhere, we're supposed to buy him as a credible world title threat when he lost to Sky Tuhati and Rikishi last week, and he took the pin in that match. By the way,
goodness. Yeah, he did, didn't he?
So it was it ended up being an iconic character and having a great run, and I think we both turned the page on JBL eventually and appreciated him for what he did. But yeah, this run that we're about to get into, it was brutal. It was really hated it.
Yeah, it was, man. And one other thing I hated is Booker T's entrance song here. It's the "Can You Dig It" from the WWE Originals album with him singing it, isn't it? It's trash.
Oh man! Thankfully, they go back to the yes, 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 no, no, no soon enough. But
yes, exactly.
I guess they don't do that in WWE. That was the WCW one. They don't have that beginning on there.
Yeah. It was Thunder, so
that's right.
Episode Thunder, so it works. Yeah.
Man, that's like one of the longest lasting pieces of WCW work is the Booker T's theme song.
Oh yeah.
I just thought about that.
It really is, man. Really is.
I'm glad they never changed it. But Booker T is going to continue showing and refining this heel character over the next few weeks. Like, basically Hollywood Booker T, acting like he's above the fans, above being on SmackDown. And, I mean, Booker T hasn't been a heel since 2001. Really? Or early 2002.
Face in the middle, right, with the NWO thing.
Yeah.
And him and Goldust or whatever. Because he fought Edge at Mania 18, right?
Right.
And he was a heel there, but right after that...
So summer 02, the Goldust stuff.
Face, yeah.
And it's not really clicking, this character. It's just kind of there. You can tell he's not really... doesn't quite know what he's supposed to be doing here. And he does a few things on these next few SmackDowns. He beats... He holds the tights, winning a match one week, and then... he walks down on his partner, RVD, in the middle of a tag match the next week. So he's, I guess he's not full-blown heel, but because he's still teaming with RVD, but he's showing all these tendencies and all this stuff. But, I don't know what Undertaker's doing. I don't know if he's, like, hiking across Europe or going on a cruise, chilling on the beach while Booker T's on TV. Again, I cannot stress enough, he was off TV for 5 months. Comes back for a week, and then takes another month straight off.
He came back for this is Sunday and Tuesday to film SmackDown. He came back for 2 days, and he's gonna be off for another month. It's crazy.
This guy.
What a great schedule.
He's earned a lot of PTO over the years, I guess.
I guess
decided to finally cash it in.
Well, I guess for like 4 years straight, he worked with like a broken ankle. Like
that's true.
97 to like 2001.
You can't say he hasn't earned it.
Broken ankles, broken hips, just kept working through it all. So I guess he gets time off.
Speaking of broken ankle, talk about what happens to Kurt Angle here one of these weeks.
Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah, SmackDown, this is 243. This is April 15th, 04. So before I get to that real quick, Booker T, he's going to go full-blown heel here. Like you mentioned, he's kind of having heelish tendencies, kind of being that, big money Booker T, like, big shot guy, and he's better than anybody. But this night, it's Booker T and RVD's the main event, and he ties up RVD in the ropes and just starts punching and kicking him until the ref finally stops it. So he makes RVD like bleed for a shoot from the nose, and he's just full on heel now. And like one thing that we mentioned on this podcast is, if you want to turn heel, you do it against the Hardy Boys or against RVD. Like those are surefire ways to get you booed. I mean, seriously, like because those guys are just always gonna Jeff Hardy and RVD are always going to be baby faces, no matter what you do. Like, you can't. So, again, turn heel, go ahead and do that. But anyway, so he's heel. And something else that takes this a horrible turn is at the end of this episode, this is the night that Big Show is getting a little handsy with Tori Wilson and Kurt Angle. The knight in white satin comes to help him and stop it, and Big Show's going to chokeslam Kurt Angle off of a ledge onto a concrete floor, leaving a pool of blood to puddle up behind his head, and his leg is bent like it's broken, like in a crooked L shape, and it's just like, talk about good production. This is the dirt worst production. Like, you don't see the chokeslam, you just see it, and you see him laying on the ground, like, dude, but there's a puddle, like, Kurt Angle would be dead.
Yeah,
an actual dead body. Like we're not. I'm supposed to believe this at home watching this. Like it is just, dude. It's awful.
It looks like Family Guy. I mean, the way his leg is bent like a cartoon, like you would draw a cartoon falling off the ledge, and it's just why? Yeah. I mean, we were kind of talking before we went on the air, but it's hard to explain. But SmackDown has just gone off a cliff since we covered it last. We were covering Raw stuff, so we didn't see much SmackDown on the road to WrestleMania, but something after WrestleMania is in the water on SmackDown. It feels like a different show, and I don't know, man. Can you try to put into words what it is? It feels off. It feels really cartoony. Like the whole show just is not good.
I don't know who the head writer was at this time. I don't know if Heyman still had his hand in stuff. Because the only thing I can see, if it is Heyman and he's doing stuff, is he's trying to give guys a chance. You're going to have Rene Dupree, I said Dupree. Rene Dupree, who we all know is a massive tool. We know from first-hand experience. We'll get to that when we get to 2006. Well, we know Rene Dupree is going to get pushed against John Cena, who's coming out of WrestleMania as a bona fide superstar. He's going to get pushed. We're going to get Mark Jindrak pushed. We're going to get Booker T's guy. He's the main event heel here now, going against Taker. You're going to have eventually the Dudley Boys doing that. Same thing. Like JBLs. Yeah, but so you're giving these guys opportunity, which is what ECW did. However, there's something different about ECW. There's gritty and stuff, but this is just, it's like too polishy, and it's just polishing turds like JBL. Like you said, man, a tag team jobber guy who is now the main event number one contender. It's just bad. And you got Eddie Guerrero's going to face the Bashams week after week after week after week. It's Eddie versus one of the Bashams, like in the mid card. So it's not even being elevated to. I don't know, man. It's just such a culmination of all these things, all firing at the same time that make SmackDown suck. Like I can't.
It does.
I can't put it over enough. It sucks.
And we have always tried to be very positive on this show and look at the bright sides of things and find the fun stuff of this, but it's weird. I can't quite put my finger on it. There you go. I don't need to say anything else.
Sorry. I mean, yeah. Like, we try, but I can't. I can't anymore with this.
For the first time, it feels very connected to modern day WWE in 2019. Like, it feels overproduced. It feels like slicker and smoother and not like the same show that we grew up on and were covering during the Attitude Era. Like, I can't quite put my finger on it, but this is the first time I've noticed, like, okay, like you can see the evolution of where we're at right now.
And if people, and I'll say this too, man, just to piggyback off of that, if people want to complain about the current product nowadays, I'm telling you, go watch some of this stuff that we're covering right now. I'm not kidding. I'd rather watch some of the shows from right now than some of this stuff. I'm serious, man. Like, it is just, I mean, and again, I'm very positive about the current product. I try to stay very optimistic about what's going on now, and I watch every Raw and SmackDown and as much as I can. So, and I'm trying to be positive about this stuff too, but it is, I'm telling you, the stuff nowadays is hand over fist better than some of this crap we're about to cover. Yeah. We're about to get a new debut of somebody we're going to talk about in a second.
Well, exactly. You talk about giving new opportunities to people. Well, what happens when these people you're giving new opportunities to absolutely suck? That's
exactly
what we're talking about here. SmackDown 244. This is where the build-up's really going to kick into gear here. This is April 22nd, 2004. Day before your birthday. Right?
Exactly.
And what a birthday present is you get the debut vignette for Mordecai, a guy that we're not going to talk about too much on this podcast, besides this episode, but the WWE originally had big plans as far as him and The Undertaker coming together. Mm-hmm. He's, if you don't remember, and I don't blame you if you don't remember, but he's kind of built up like the anti-Undertaker. He's white hair, white beard, white outfit, like a very weirdly religious character, all these crosses in the background. That
symbol thing he carries, too. Not a cross. Symbol.
Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, not a cross. He's talking about sinners repenting and all this sort of stuff.
A dark veil of evil has been cast over the face of righteousness. And I have been chosen to tear that veil off and to look you sinners straight in the eye. Are you that sinner?
It's it's well produced, but not like why? Like why does anyone care about this? And we can talk about him more on the pay-per-view when we see his debut match, but this is where we get his first vignette that really doesn't amount to much of anything. But As far as Undertaker goes, somebody he actually feuds with, Booker T and RVD open up the show, a rematch from last week, and Booker T gets the win again after Pyro goes off in the entryway, distracting RVD, and that ends up being for Paul Heyman, who comes out, and he is returning after quitting on that episode of Raw, the Draft. He's returning for one night only to fill in as the GM per the basis of Vince McMahon, and blah, blah, blah. He cuts promo. He gets involved with the Dudley Boys here, and Dudley Boys come out and attack RVD. Just like you said, if you're going to turn heel, do it against RVD.
No better.
And Paul Heyman's going to be connected with them here in the next few weeks. But later on in the night, Booker T is going to come back to the ring, got this big victory promo. He's all cocky and arrogant. He's the biggest star on SmackDown. Generic heel stuff. He says he wants to be the most famous man on SmackDown, the most famous man in America. Crowd cannot care less at any of this.
Because the most famous guy on SmackDown is, by definition, the most famous man in
Absolutely.
America.
They go hand in hand.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Sorry.
Well, suddenly, the lights go out, the bell tolls, purple lights, smoke, thunder, lightning, the whole shebang here. And thankfully, Michael Cole is smarter than JR because he immediately recognizes that this is a message from the conscience of SmackDown, the Undertaker. JR couldn't quite tell what all this pyrotechnics were a few weeks ago and paranormal stuff. But Cole, the investigative journalist, man, he knows. We get no appearance from Undertaker, just those teases here, much like we got with Kane and that build-up, but it's enough to scare Booker T away, and Undertaker is coming for the very prideful Booker T to humble him, I guess.
Make you humble. Yeah, exactly.
Break his back. Make him humble.
Oh, man. Well, that's going to happen. He's going to humble somebody else next week, too. So SmackDown 247 on April 29th. We got Chavo Guerrero's going to get out here and face Nunzio. And before they can actually start the match, the lights go out and the gong plays, and we see the smoke and the purple lights, or the purple haze, if you will, and we get Taker's music. And at this point, I was watching. I was just wondering, like, is he coming for the FBI? The old thorn in his side, you know? Is he coming to squash them again? So, but no. But Chavo comes out, and they do have the match. And but, the announcers put on, there's rumors of Undertaker appearing here tonight, and again, smarter than Eric Bischoff back at WrestleMania, who had no idea Undertaker was going to be there, but even though he's booked for a match. But anyway, it was what it was. But I do like that they were teasing it earlier on in the show. Again, just on the match, it didn't matter. But the massive tool Josh Matthews later on is going to interview Booker T about his match against Billy Gunn.
Whew, what a tune-up, man!
Yeah. So
2 tag team legends right there.
Hall of Famers. Old Kip Sop himself, the Hall of Famer, Mr. AEW. So anyway, he talks about the Taker tease earlier on, and Booker's like, where there's smoke, there's fire, and says he wasn't going to stick around. And Tool Matthews asked,
Booker, are you at all concerned that these signs are coming from the Undertaker?
What? Man, you're trying to be funny. Look, man, I'm not afraid of the Undertaker. Look, Undertaker better watch himself. He better check himself before he wreck himself. See, Undertaker, look here. Undertaker want to mess with me. He want to get up in this right here. I will slap the dead off the Undertaker. You dig?
Which I think Taz's like, what? Or Cole Wonder's like, how do you slap the dead off Undertaker? I don't even know what that means, but dude, I do love Booker T though.
He gets a good promo.
Sayings, yeah. Well, then Booker is going to have that big old tune-up match against old Billy Gunn here, the A-Man, Billy Gunn. I don't even know what his character is at this point. A couple months ago, he was tagging with Tori, and he was like her slave, and I don't even know. He's just there. He's just a warm body to fill the ring on SmackDown.
His character is soon to be future endeavored, Billy Gunn.
That's true. Then he'll show up in TNA under the Voodoo Kin Mafia.
Speaking of Voodoo.
Said about that. Exactly. Speaking of Voodoo, so less said the better about this match. Booker wins with a scissor kick, and then Taker's music and his production hit. all the bells and whistles and everything. And this time, though, he's actually here. And Paul Bearer comes out first with the urn. They lead Taker out through the smoke. So really, really, really cool here to see again. And Taker makes his full entrance, and he's got something pretty neat, though. He's added a little, a little addition to his outfit. He's got the word evil on his belt buckle.
It's like he's in Kaientai now.
Evil.
This didn't last long, but I dug it.
Oh, yeah. I'll take it. Again, kind of mixing the Biker Taker and the Undertaker again, because the Undertaker we knew of old would not dare wear a, belt buckle that showed, so. But Booker has a mic in his hand at this point, and he's not really like cowering from Undertaker, but he's just kind of staring at it. But Michael Cole says Booker T's mouth so dry he can't even swallow. So that's something.
Thanks, Cole.
Yeah, thanks a lot, idiot. But I tell you what, man, the crowd is blowing the roof off this place. I don't think it was post-production stuff. It sounded like legit fan, stuff. So, and Taker's just staring the hole through Booker, and Paul Bearer is just old Paul Bearer, just slipped right in like a good old pair of shoes, and he's the same old guy he was back in the day. And Booker T gets on the mic, and they're kind of all sitting in the ring here, and Booker's like, these people ain't going to see it tonight. He's like, I just had a grueling match with Billy Gunn, and he tells Taker, why don't you take a hike? And then within like 3 seconds, he's like, no, never mind. I'll take a hike. I'll leave. And as he goes, he walks by Paul Bearer, and he grabs the urn, and he smashes Taker in the head with it, and leaves the ring, obviously. And there's we see Taker sit up in the ring. He sits up out of the smoke because the smoke has covered the ring, and Booker T bells, and Taker just kind of stares a hole through him as Booker walks up the ramp there. So we are gonna again see one of the most played out storylines of all time here with the old stolen the urn. So
yeah, that's problem number one with this, man. It's just back to what we always did with Taker in the 90s, which, I mean, I guess it's okay for old time's sake to do it once or twice, but
sure,
yeah, it's not like giving me a lot of hope for this run.
Right. And Mr. Angle, which is Kurt Angle's name now, Mr. Angle. So he died how many weeks ago? 2, and now he's back.
Yeah.
So he's drinking that same thing Braun Strowman can drink. So that Braun Strowman juice. But anyway, Mr. Angle.
His leg is in a cast for a very long time.
He's going. Yeah. He's got the old Bob Orton Jr. thing going on. So anyway, but he comes out and he makes Booker T versus Taker for Judgment Day. So. But unfortunately for us, all of us at home, he's got Luther Reigns, or as you might know him from WCW Saturday Night, Horseshoe. Do you remember him on Saturday Night? I do.
I believe it's spelled Horshu.
Yes.
Horseshoe.
Horseshoe. Like he's some like
he's sneezing.
New Japan or something. Yeah.
Horseshoe.
Well, that's about how long he lasted in WWE to sneeze. You could sneezed and blinked and missed him. So, but again, though, I'm saying like there's all this new blood on the roster that I don't know if it's Heyman trying to give these guys a chance, but I think another problem is it's happening on Raw too. You got Garrison Cage. You're gonna get I think within the next year we're gonna get what's the trailer park boy? You got the Gordy's son.
Oh, Terry.
Trevor
Murdoch.
That guy. Gonna get him, and like you're gonna get but all of them are just a first and a last name, and they all have the same clean cut face. They all have a little boy haircut. They're all they're just out of cookie cutter mold. I think that's part of the problem too. Although the reverse is happening nowadays. In 2019, you get all the guys, but now they have a big old long hair and a big old millennial beard. So same problem though.
You're absolutely right.
Generic creator wrestler guys on Raw and SmackDown. But anyway, let me get back to this. So sorry, I had a sidetrack there. But Mr. Angle says that Taker and him haven't wrestled since WrestleMania, and he doesn't think Taker appreciates the fact that he can wrestle. He has the opportunity to wrestle, and Angle doesn't. But he says he tells Josh Matthews that Taker's going to be in action next week on SmackDown. So, and they do put it over as a big deal that he's going to be on SmackDown the next week. So.
Finally, someone's cracking down on Taker's PTO here. New hardline general manager.
HR is coming down. This guy hadn't wrestled in like 2 months.
We're paying him a lot of money.
Yeah.
Well, SmackDown 246, May 6, 2004. Oh boy, this is where we really go off the rails, man. This is what you came here for, folks.
Oh yeah, baby.
Because this is the night that Booker T is going to go searching for an edge against The Undertaker. And what better way to do that? No, not that edge. No.
Sorry.
I don't know where this SmackDown takes place, but Booker T's going to go traveling down to New Orleans or something in the 1930s and go searching. Searching to this voodoo shop. This is actually happening on 2004 on television. Mm-hmm. It's kind of racist and kind of completely out of date, but he second guesses himself and starts to leave and walk away out of this voodoo shop when he hears a voice telling him not to leave, and I can't do this voice because that would be offensive. But Booker T asks if this is Mama Sangre, and because he knows of Mama Sangre apparently.
Apparently so.
Hello? Anybody home? The hell is this? No, this ain't happening, man. Forget it.
You come so far. Why you gonna leave so soon, man?
Are you Mama Sangre?
You got questions. Mama Sangre, she got answers.
Alright.
And then this Miss Cleo knockoff, that's what she's doing here. He goes and meets with her in the back.
What's the witch from Pirates of the Caribbean? You know?
You know more than I do.
She sounds like her.
You've seen every one of those movies.
Yeah, I have seen them all. But, she sounds just like her, man. Whatever her name is. Yeah, exactly like her.
She sounds like
Miss Cleo.
every generic witch lady you've ever heard in any movie or cartoon. This is the biggest, most cliched, goofy thing. And he goes back in there, and she's reading his tarot cards, and Mama Sangria asks if he's got any, if he has questions, and she's got answers, and she tells him he's going to need help in this fight because she sees a dark shadow in his future. It's going to grab him and drag him down, boy. And
he's going to grab you and drag you down, boy.
Booker,
it's awful.
Booker asks her what's he supposed to do, and she says he's going to need some help in this fight. So she hands him some bones from a dead man, a feather from a crow, and the fangs from a three-legged dog.
Wait, that's like Lord of the Rings, like a tree ant, like a dog with three legs.
That's what she
said. Or
said.
is it the one off the cover of the Alice in Chains self-titled album? That's a little three-legged dog.
That's definitely it.
A three-legged dog. That's like from Boston. That's not good at all.
It's some sort of voodoo grab bag that she's given him, and but that's not going to be enough. That's not going to be enough to do it.
It's like a voodoo birthday bag, party favor.
It is. You get from Party City, mystery bag. But she tells him there's one more thing he needs to complete his voodoo kin mafia or whatever this is, and tells him he needs to go get dirt from a graveyard, and not just any dirt from a special grave dug up at midnight under a full moon, the grave of a man with no name. Booker T is as incredulous at this as we are, man. It's saying how is he supposed to find this? And she tells him it'll find him. And honest to God, man,
it'll find you, boy. It'll find you.
We've done 101 episodes now, and this ranks right up there in the worst things we have seen in 100 episodes. And like, I get why they did it because I mean, think of some of the stuff Booker T has done, dude. Like in the grocery store with Stone Cold, and all the stuff with Gold Dust, in 7-Eleven, and doing Booker T at the movies, with the Scorpion King. I mean, so much awesome vignettes. And I think that's what they were going for here. They were like, put Booker T in a voodoo shop. This will be iconic, dude. But Booker T, God love him, Hall of Famer, 2-time Hall of Famer. In my opinion, he thinks this sucks as much as we do, and this whole time, he's not feeling it. And I feel like he is not giving his all at this. He's just going through the motions with it and thinks it's stupid, and it just doesn't work the same way some of those other hilarious, fantastic vignettes work. This is just bad.
Oh yeah, and maybe because it's 2004 and he sees the writing on the wall. It's just dumb, Who knows? But yeah, it's awful. But I will say this, man. I do like that they're going off-site. I like that they never do this kind of stuff anymore. They're starting to with the 24/7 7-Eleven title or whatever. But yeah, they don't ever do this stuff anymore. So I do appreciate. Like I said, I try to leave the positive. I appreciate they're doing something like a vignette, but it's not working.
I agree with you. I like the idea of it, but it's so. And we love vintage stuff, but this feels straight out of 1992. Somebody going to get Voodoo to go against the Undertaker, and it's just so absurd, man. And it's not like Booker T. This is not a Booker T thing that he would go do. It just does not work with his character. But anyway, the Undertaker is going to compete tonight. We are going to hear from him finally, and what do you know? Against his old punching bags, the FBI, Nunzio and Johnny the Bull, they're already in the ring, and Kurt Angle and Luther Reigns come out, and apparently Luther Reigns went around the locker room asking every single superstar who wanted the Undertaker tonight, and no one answered the call. So
I thought he was a jobber on WCW 79.
What are you doing in the locker room, man? Get out of here. God bless you. Well, Kurt Angle tells the FBI sometimes things don't go their way, and they do not tonight, because the Undertaker comes out again, gets his full long entrance. The announcers are hyping up Taker the whole time. They're treating this as a special appearance, talking about this being a rare television match, his first one since WrestleMania. The smoke and the lighting are fantastic with it. Paul Bearer is doing all this stuff, and Taker just dominates his favorite punching bags, and he debuts a new move here. I don't really know what to call it, but he's going to do it in the next few weeks. It's like hits like Edge's downward spiral, and then sort of flips over from that into this weird arm and headlock submission.
I don't know what it's like. He does the. What's it? Sheldon Benjamin calls it the pay dirt, doesn't he? And Archer does the same finisher.
Yeah.
It's like downward spiral, but then I don't know what you call it. It's like a chicken wing from the front, though. I don't know. It's some weird submission that didn't get over.
It did not catch on, but it gets the pin here over Stamboli as he taps out here, and then just for kicks. We get a reprise of the best last ride ever as Taker gives it to Nunzio, and he does the sign of the cross again and goes down and gets a big wedgie from it. And then Johnny Stamboli gets a tombstone for his troubles as well. And I mean, Taker comes out of this just looking like an absolute monster, like the biggest star in the world.
He really does, man. I will say that's a good to come out of this. He looks like a beast.
Absolutely. They know how to treat him here. And to go from that high, we go back to the lows because we go back to Booker T. I guess it's midnight wherever he's at, but he has to get the dirt at midnight. Or maybe it's not midnight. Maybe that's why the dirt doesn't work.
Hey.
But he continues his search for the Voodoo, looking for the unmarked grave.
Oh, man. It's freezing out here. Been out there for 3 hours looking for this damn grave. That ain't it. Oh, man. That. She said the grave would find me. Oh.
which I don't know how you're supposed to find an unmarked grave. It literally could be anywhere. That's the whole point of an unmarked grave. There's no way to tell where it is. He's crying, saying he's been searching for 3 hours, and finally he stumbles upon a marked grave. There is a gravestone there, even though it has no name on it. But Booker grabs some dirt from it and runs away. And then we see a hand pop up out of the grave, like we're watching an Addams Family music video, like Addams Family Values music video.
It looked like Diesel's hand with the cut off finger.
Dude, that's part of why this doesn't work. It's like it's Taker's MMA glove reaching up out of the grave. It's not the cool gray or purple full glove. Dead man glove. It's just the MMA glove. It just doesn't look the same reaching out of there, which I also don't understand how he just beat the FBI and then is somehow buried in a grave outside of New Orleans at the same time.
I don't know either. But let me spitball this your way and tell him this wouldn't have been better. Okay, if we have to do the hand out of the grave thing, wouldn't it have been better to have had Booker see that and then run away scared?
Sure.
Rather than walk away and then the camera just turns and zooms back in on it and then you see it.
Absolutely.
Why would he be spooked out? He just ran away because he heard some noises. Like, shouldn't he have stood there, seen the hand come out, and then have been spooked and been like run away because the whole voodoo thing? Like, I thought that would have made. That's just armchair quarterback in here, you know. But I thought it would have been a more. It was a stupid idea anyway, but it would have been better. Stupid idea.
Or maybe Taker's hand grabs Booker T's leg as he's trying to run away or something like that. But the other idea I had was thinking about this was I feel like Booker T. He needed somebody to play off of during this, like he used to play off Goldust. Like, what if Booker T had had a manager during this time, like Teddy Long, who just got drafted to SmackDown? What if you had Teddy Long, like him being over the top, Teddy Long doing all this stuff with Booker T, like Booker T's doubting it, and Teddy Long is like he knows Mama Sangre, and he's doing Teddy Long stuff, talking out in the graveyard. Like that would have made this work because, like I said, Booker T is just. He's not selling it. He's not feeling it, and it shows during all this. It just needed something more to really kick it into gear because it just never quite clicks.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree wholeheartedly. So, well, he's going to kick it into gear next week on SmackDown 247. This is on May 13th, 04. This is getting close to the end of our senior year of high school here. We're getting ready to graduate.
Yeah, man. Maybe that's why we were focused on other things besides Mama Shango or whatever else going on.
Mama Shango and the three-legged dog. The dead men tell no tales. Oh, all right. Booker T is we get a recap of the Voodoo shenanigans. I can't not see Miss Cleo from the Pirates movies or whatever her name is.
Call me now.
Call me for your free reading. Just call Miss Cleo for your title card. Yeah, and your three-legged dog. Anyway, we're gonna recap of the Voodoo shenanigans from last week, and Booker T says he comes out for a handicap match against the FBI because he says he wants to prove that he is superior to the Undertaker because Taker beat these guys last week, so he's going to do it as well. So, and it's hilarious to me because Nuncio's got like his ribs all taped up, and Stan Bowley's literally has a neck brace on. Like, how are these guys medically cleared to wrestle?
He should not be allowed to compete, man.
No,
Kurt Angle is really not good at his job.
It's like Mr. Angle, not a good GM at all. So, yeah, should not be allowed to compete here. But Booker T has his little black velvet voodoo bag with him during his entrance, and he's
tiny.
holding it out. Yeah, and he's
That's
shaking
the other
it.
thing, man. Like he just had this big giant voodoo bag. Like it's just like this little tiny like earring bag. Or something.
Yeah. I think I have the same size one for the cufflinks you got me for your groomsman present for your wedding. Yeah, I have the same black velvet bag. So, but Booker T wins pretty easily and gets the pin on Stan Bowley after a scissor kick, which again that could have been a match from WCW Circuit 2000.
It probably was. Yeah.
Yeah, on Thunder as well. So anyway, then Booker's going to grab a mic and grabs his voodoo bag, he says,
"For all you suckers who don't believe. I just proved I'm just as powerful as The Undertaker. Now can you dig that?
He's about to get Sucker out, and we hear gong instead. And lights go out, and Taker's eyes appear on one of the Titantrons there. We have three screens on the SmackDown stage now. His eyeballs appear on one of them, and then they kind of go on and off, and then his face pops up on another one. And and it just kind of go back and forth, and then Paul Bearer appears as Taker's music plays, and the ring fills with smoke, and Booker T is going to turn around to see Taker sitting up amidst the smoke in the middle of the ring, which now I will say, I thought that was pretty cool. Like, I did think that was pretty cool.
The special effects have been impeccable during all this. I mean, I'm not going to deny that.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty neat little thing, and Taker's going to stare at Booker T while Booker is clasping his little black velvet voodoo bag. And but again, he kind of backs up away up the rampway out of fear. And like you said, Booker's really doesn't seem like he's trying his hardest. I don't know if it's his fault or just creator's fault, but it seems kind of sucky. But I will put over this. Aside from hitting Taker in the head with the urn, there's no physicality between them. You know, there's just little mind game stuff. So very similar to the last several feuds Taker's had, you know, which always makes you want to see the physicality. Not saying it's working here, but
right.
But you do. It does usually leave you hanging for, you know, wanting to see the physicality. But that was that was the go home show for this Judgment Day. So that's it,
dude. Can we talk about something before we get to Judgment Day?
Absolutely, we can.
So you said it right there. I've said it a million times, so I'm not calling you out. But because we all say it when we deal with Undertaker, you always read it online. Why do we call the sound effect at the beginning of Undertaker's music a gong? Because it's not a gong, is it?
I know.
It's not. You don't play that's not the sound of a gong. But like anytime Michael Cole says it on commentary, we just heard the gong. You always read it on people's recaps. Yep. That's not what a gong sounds like. And gongs have nothing to do with funerals.
Or the dead man.
Or the dead man. It's a bell.
You're right.
The bell tolls.
Yep.
Why do we do that? Why has that always been the case?
I have no idea. And I have never even thought about it until you just said that. But yeah, we always say the gong. And it's probably Michael Cole, like the whole Calvary thing. People just say it wrong. Man. Yeah, you're probably right. Gong should be something that Luther Reigns should have before his horseshoe matches.
A gong is what you hear at the beginning of Goldberg's music.
Yeah.
Not exactly. The Undertaker's. That's not what a gong sounds like.
You're absolutely correct. Man, we gotta get some
I'm just thinking about that.
Yeah, I've never thought about that, but you're absolutely right. Well, we all do it. We all say it.
If we can correct that from the world, if that's the one thing our podcast does, then, you know, so be it. If that's our one lasting impact. But, oh well. Let's talk about the pay-per-view itself. Let's talk about Judgment Day 2004 from the Staples Center in Los Angeles, California. Sort of a small show for the Staples Center. They usually, recent years, they've done a lot bigger shows there. But here we go, getting Judgment Day here, May 16th, 2004. I never have seen this one besides the main event, that big bloodbath from that. What about you?
Ditto, man. Same thing. Never seen this show at all since the main event. The main event is absolutely a spectacle. Eddie Guerrero is going to, I guess, try to kill himself on TV.
He comes real close.
He slits his head he slits like a 8-inch gash across his forehead. Man, it is disgusting on the next SmackDown, and he comes out and has it all like bandaged up or stitched up. It's disgusting. But yeah, the blood he spills, it's definitely a spectacle, and it added to that match. I'll tell you, that match wasn't as bad as it could have been, just because Eddie was in the ring and the blood added to it. But man, this show right here, and then it's going to be expanded upon next week on Great American Bash, where you can really see how much SmackDown is struggling.
Yeah, it is.
Really see.
It is rancid. This show, man.
Yeah. There is a cool set for this one, though. I do like the set here.
The set is awesome.
Very 1998, 9-ish, 2000-ish, where they had those like very unique sets for all of them. Really cool. I like that.
A lot of big crosses in the background. That's kind of the theme in the opening video. And the opening video does position this match as one of the top 3 on the show, along with Eddie and JBL. And number 3 on the card is John Cena and Rene Dupree. Like that tells you everything you need to know about SmackDown during this time. Those are the 3 matches they focus on in the opening video, bro.
Oh, I know. It's terrible. It's terrible.
Painful.
That would be like, so Cena was the U.S. champ. So that would be like if SummerSlam coming up soon was the U.S. title match was like AJ Styles versus Bo Dallas. Like that was the 3rd biggest match on the show. That would be the equivalent.
And I would take that match any day of the week.
Except that Bo Dallas is a former NXT champion. Yeah. Rene Dupree didn't hold a bag of beans, and he's terrible.
You didn't enjoy Cafe de Rene?
No, the French tickler, man. Golly.
Anyway, enough of that. We're going to get some promos here before the match. As Massive Tool Josh Matthews is standing outside Booker T's locker room and said they've heard these weird noises all day outside the locker room. And it's not going to be Bobby Heenan and Mean Gene and Moolah and Mae Young this time. I wish.
Dude, can you imagine Booker could like push him out of his own locker room?
Yeah.
That would have been funny.
That would have been great.
He would have made that funny. He's had people to play off of, you know?
Instead, he's doing like a seance in his room like DDP and Canyon were doing back in the day. And there's a bunch of candles all around him. And Booker T's saying he's bigger than The Undertaker. He's got his own power tonight. And he's got his little beanbag. And it says, after tonight, he's going to be the one true star of SmackDown.
Yeah.
Sure thing.
Yeah, I got nothing. Yeah. Man, the one thing I do want to say about this show, though, is that Tori Wilson and Dawn Marie have another match on pay-per-view, which has got to be, like, their 16th match on pay-per-view, like, legitimately. Like,
keep them coming.
How does nobody talk about this epic feud?
Highlight of the night.
Is this the one? Yeah, it is. It's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Which one are you thinking of?
Dawn Marie loses some clothing in this match, I believe.
Oh, I need to go back and watch it. Skip over it.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't. It's very poor. Yeah, very poorly done. So, it happens. But yeah, we're gonna get the debut of Mordecai, the Anti-Taker, basically. And I'll be honest with you, man. I remember when he debuted, I thought, because I could see from a mile away, this guy's gonna be fed to Taker. Like I liked it. They were gonna build him up a little bit. I liked that. Like you said, I liked the production. But dude, he never gets that Taker match. He has this match here against Scotty 2 Hotty, and then I think he has a match on Great American Bash next month, and that's it, and that's all, man. That's it.
You know, it kind of just sums up why we're doing this podcast about The Undertaker, because here's a guy that gave him the gimmick, they gave him a huge push, they built him up right out the gate, he's got this big entrance, they have big plans for him, but when it comes down to it, he just does not have that it factor. He does not have those intangibles. He does not bring it in the ring. He does not bring it as a character. He does not bring himself into it. And you could say the same things about Undertaker, man. They gave him the tools. They gave him a great idea, a great character, but he took it and ran with it and turned it into something more. He elevated something silly into something iconic and legendary. And it just shows how much of the man Mark Calloway just elevated this Undertaker character, because you can't just plug anyone into these roles that they build. It doesn't work that way.
Nope, it doesn't, man. And this guy was allegedly going to have a program that capped off at Mania the next year. That was what I read, and I listened to him on 2 separate podcasts. I actually did a little research and listened to him. One of them was on 2-Man Power Trip. He was talking to the guys about Vince told him he's going to go till Mania the next year, which will end up being the Randy Orton match, I believe, right?
Yep.
Right? Isn't that right?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So he was going to have that match there, going to be built up on SmackDown the whole time, and then lead up, starting in Royal Rumble, And and he blew it. He said he just blew it. He just sucked it up, and I think he got some DUIs or something like that, or got in a fight backstage. He did something, and he blamed himself. You know, he said I did it to himself. So whatever. But
well, it does not spell the end for him. So if you don't remember Mordecai, you might remember him popping up a few years later in ECW as Kevin Thorne. Sort of, again, like a complete 180 from this character. I'll give you that, man. The dude committed to what he was doing. He went all out with his look and all that sort of stuff. So he tried, but he just didn't have it, man. It just wasn't there. Yep. Was not meant to be.
Nope. Something that was meant to be was this backstage. Go ahead and take it, man. This is like a throwback to 1991 all over again. It's fantastic.
Yeah, we just get a real quick promo with Undertaker standing in the back with Paul Bearer, no interviewer, just the two of them.
Yep.
And it's kind of shot from way underneath to make Undertaker have that presence.
Yes.
And we finally hear from Paul Bearer, who we haven't heard from at all on the mic during this time, which is a travesty.
Yeah. How dumb.
That's why I'm not liking this, man. We're not getting enough Bearer in our lives.
You're right.
Not enough vitamin B.
No load. Golly.
Well, he mocks Booker T for thinking he has any kind of special power and says this will be his judgment day. And my voice for Paul Bearer is the same voice as the guy from the B-52s, apparently. We were riding around in my big Cadillac. I can't remember the name. Same voice.
Oh, that's great. Oh, what's your voice like for Taker? Because he has a line here. Is it like that?
Rest in peace.
It's like a carnival barker. It's like every 1930s actor. They sound like that.
Well, that's where this build is from. It's from the 1930s.
Yeah, it is.
So there you go. That's all we hear from Taker. That's all we need to hear before this match goes on. Second from the top, man. Co-main event spot, I guess. Definitely treated as on the same level, I would say.
Oh, yeah. It was definitely the second biggest match on the... well, going by the way some of the SmackDowns ended, is the biggest match because it ended lots of the shows and stuff like that. So, but like I said, Eddie is going to face jobbers in the middle of the card for most of this build up this month and the next month. So, anyway, but we got Taz and Cole on commentary, and this set's really cool. Like we said earlier, a lot of graveyard, like kind of a graveyard theme and the giant crosses and stuff. And Booker T comes out first, and he's holding this little black velvet voodoo bag right in front of him, kind of like shaking it back and forth. And he gets in the ring, and he's in the corner, and he kind of stares at it. He's holding it, and he's looking at it, and he just kind of awaits Taker to come out. And
he should have just gone all out, man. Like Papa Shango top hat, like bone necklace, like shaking some stick. Instead, he's just same old Booker T with a little purse, coin purse, shaking it.
Little, never mind. Yeah.
That's why this doesn't work, man. Just go with it, dude. You're Booker T, like you're funny. You just embrace it, man. He just he didn't want to be there. He didn't want to be doing this.
No, Papa Booker Shango. Yeah, I guess
Booker Shango. Yeah.
Oh, it's crazy. Yeah, he didn't throw up or anything like the Exorcist. Like was that Warrior that threw up like the Exorcist everywhere? Yeah,
classic.
Oh. Golly, classic stuff. But anyway, this match this build-up made me want to do that, so that's for sure. Throw up like the Exorcist. But anyway, Taker's entrance comes on, and this guy, really cool because there's these two columns that look like pillars of fire. They just light up in flames, and again, really, they spared no expense on his entrance alone. I mean, he's got more money put in his entrance than they use on anybody's pyro nowadays.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
For this one night, and Bear's coming out first, which again, it's good to see him, and Taker's behind him, and it's a slow walk again like old days, and really, really cool to see that. And again, though, going back to 1992, Michael Cole and Taz claim that it feels like the AC is on the Staples Center, and they got chills running, on their body. So it's about time to put that to bed. It's okay. We got it.
I don't know why it feels cold when the entire set just lit on fire in front of them. Yeah. That doesn't make any sense. But it's not the only dumb thing they say here, because Michael Cole, investigative journalist, adds to the stupidity and is going on about how the debate rages online as to whether The Undertaker is alive or dead. And him and Taz debate on, is The Undertaker alive or is he dead? Like,
That's so
what are we doing here, guys? Like, we
Right.
understand the character. We don't need
Right.
you guys to, like, go over the top with this stuff.
Well, he's
Talking
going to
like we're children.
Yeah, like I'm 4 years old, you know. He's going to take it even over the top again and take a left turn in the idiot city here when he says that, you know, again, like you said, it's often debated whether alive or dead. And then Michael Cole says that
Undertaker puts himself in a different world, a different dementia, so to speak. And when he does that, he brings his opponent there with him.
You okay then?
dude, it's not called a dementia. It's another dimension. It's another dimension. You can't put yourself in another dementia, but you're giving me. You clearly have dementia because you don't know how to speak. You don't remember things.
That explains it. That
He
explains
is driving
Michael
me
Cole.
crazy, dude.
All his amnesia. He just has dementia.
Puts himself in another dementia when he comes out here. Like, dude, I got angry watching it, like, and hearing him say that. I get so mad at all the stupid stuff he says. So, but it's dimension. I just don't get it, dude. But yeah, they're just really dumb here. Cole is.
They really are, man. They amp their stupidity up here so much. And Booker T adds to it, man, as him and Taker are staring off, and Booker T's just shaking his pouch at Undertaker as they stare each other down. Not how it sounds, people. But he places it down in the corner, and then they just, launch into the match just like normal. Here, they trade some shots, and Undertaker kind of controls things. Booker shoves him into the corner, but Taker quickly reverses and punches Booker T right out of the ring, and Booker T's going to go into the corner and re-strategize here.
Yeah, he's going to regroup. He's going to open up his little black velvet coin purse, and there's some Buff Bagwell jokes there. But anyway, he's going to open it up, and he's going to take the powder of the, like, ground up bones and feathers and dirt, and he's going to rub it on his body, his chest, and his arms. Man. Yep, he's putting sand on himself, kids, to fight the Undertaker. Yeah.
Come on.
Dude, this would have been on, like, Wrestling Challenge in, like, 93.
Dude, give me a break.
Yeah, it's really not good. So, but then back in the ring, Booker T is kneeing and punching Taker and kicks Taker right in the chest, and then Taker comes back with some right hands at him and starts working over his left arm, but Booker T is going to reverse that with a Harlem sidekick.
That's right, dude.
WCW days.
Bust out the old sidekick, and Taker, they kind of go back and forth here, and Taker actually ends up hitting a sidewalk slam, gets the old Hogan leg drop for a 2 count, and then clotheslines Booker T over the top rope. Taker pulls him up by the hair, but Booker ends up just kind of dropping Taker on that top rope, and then hits another one of those signature WCW moves with a missile drop kick from the top rope. One of his best moves right there.
Oh, yeah.
Gets the 2 count off of that.
It was a great missile drop kick. And that's going to put him in control. Even though he only got 2 count, he's going to be in control of the match here. And he goes over and rubs the contents of that pouch on him all over again. And I just can't even, man. So it's just so dumb. He's just pouring, like, sand on his body. It's just ridiculous.
See, he needed Teddy Long out there, just like Paul Bear's got the urn.
Yes.
Teddy Long could be shaking his little voodoo bag over there instead of Booker T going over there having to do it like that.
You're absolutely right,
dude. Can you imagine Teddy Long and Paul Bear across the ring from each other, screaming at each other?
That's a dream come true right there. It would have been awesome. Been awesome, man. Well, they're gonna slug it out in the middle of the ring. And then Booker's going to miss a kick, and Taker comes with that running, diving clothesline he's so good at. And then he's going to go for, reach back, way back, and go old school again. And I guess the crowd probably chanted old school, but it kind of doesn't really fit the Undertaker character. It kind of fitted the American BA when you chant that. But, I mean, he still does it nowadays. It happens, too.
It still works.
Old school, so, yeah.
It's something fun for them to do. And that caught on, but like we said, this weird little pay dirt / submission that he used on SmackDown against Stamboli. It did not catch on, but he does it again here, and Booker ends up getting his feet in the ropes to break the hold up like a heel should. Makes sense.
Yeah.
And then Taker, again, he's kind of mixing and molding these two runs of his character together because he's going to stick his fist up in the air, the old fist raise, and do a kick to the midsection and go for the last ride.
Yeah, he goes for the last ride there. So, again, like you said, kind of mixing up with the old, this is just a combination of the two characters. He hasn't quite found their stride because he keeps taking so much freaking time off. Not getting the reps.
It's interesting. Because when he first went to the Biker Taker character, he did not do the tombstone for a long, long time. And right here, he's already mixing in the last ride. So just kind of interesting how he's deciding to go about things.
Yeah, it is. Another interesting thing is that Taz is like, oh, it smells horrible out here. Like, I guess he smells the contents of the voodoo pouch. So, I don't know, the ground up tree-legged dog and chicken bones and feathers and black crows and probably smell like the Black Crows concert out there.
Probably.
Little velvet pouch.
Not much difference.
Yeah. But speaking of the velvet pouch, Booker's going to unleash it onto Taker's eyeballs and throw that voodoo dust right in his eyes. And but it's not going to affect him.
Yeah, Undertaker just no-sells it. It's because he did not get the dirt at midnight, and he didn't get it from an unmarked grave. It was marked. Just did not
marked with a headstone. Yeah.
But, so he just unloads on Booker T, and the crowd loves it, though. He just throwing hands on Booker, hits the Stinger Splash. He goes for a running boot in the corner, but Booker T ducks it, and that allows Booker T to finally start to really get one up here on Taker. He starts to work over Taker's leg. He slams it into the ring post, works it over on the outside, and Booker starts rolling here.
Oh, yeah, he does. And like I said, showing some psychology there and taking the legs out from the dead man. And then he rolls Taker back into the ring, hits a Harlem sidekick, and covers him for a 2. And he's going to go with the old tried and true heel move with the front headlock. So, and at this point, though, Paul Bearer is working his magic outside, trying to get the fans into this match and doing his old Mr. Bearer's opus out there, just, orchestrating the crowd. And I appreciated this part so much because, again, the crowd is not really all the way live for this match, but they're getting into it because of Paul Bearer. And it just we can't overstate how vital he is.
Absolutely, man. They just go back into their old patterns so well. The crowd starts clapping and stomping and cheering for Taker. Booker ends up hitting the old scissors kick on Taker, his finisher, but Taker kicks out at 2 and then sits up, and Booker is flustered about this. He eats a big boot, and then Taker signals for the old goozle, gets Booker T up for the choke slam, and then he's going to take him home.
Yeah, does a throat slash, hits a tombstone on him, and covers him with the classic pose and gets the pinfall there at 11 minutes and 25 seconds. So, honestly, that ending kind of came out of nowhere to me. It was like big boot, choke slam, tombstone.
That's it.
It was in that order with no offense from Booker T in between. So, but I tell you what, commentary's putting over Booker T showing, and Paul Bearer's over there hugging the urn out there, and I really thought that the voodoo pouch was going to have more of like a role in the match, but the one time it did, Taker just blew right through it and no-sold it. So
again, man, this could have been something fun if they just really embraced it, but they didn't, man. Their hearts weren't into it, and it kind of sucks for Booker T that he gets taken over to SmackDown and it's starting to get this big heel push, and then Undertaker kicks out of his finisher and beats him right out the gate, man. I will say that's kind of crappy for him, but hey, it's Undertaker. It's not that bad if you're losing to him. It's understandable. You can recover from that because he beats everybody. Gets his poses in. Taker must pose, and gets the Shakespeare pose in, and commentaries again putting over. This is a special moment, a rare pay-per-view appearance, a big win, and they got all the lights going on, and it's a classic like paint by numbers dead man match. So they're just trying to get this character over again, and I get it, man. It's goofy and hokey, and felt outdated in 2004, but I understand why they're doing it. They're trying to just give Taker that big win and that classic fashion to really keep building him up and make him strong, which I'm all for that.
Well, it's okay, man, because this was kind of a low point, and so surely it can't get any worse than this, right?
Travis, I have some bad news for you.
Oh, Wade Barrett?
I wish.
I'm afraid
if only
I got some bad news.
Worse than that.
What's worse than that?
The Concrete Crypt. The Concrete Crypt!
Is that next week? The Concrete Crypt is made out of glass?
I got me a crypt. It's as big as a whale.
Oh, no, there's specific dimensions.
Oh, are there? Okay.
We'll find out next week.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
Well,
dude.
What do you think about this match, dude? Is it worth going back to watch?
I'll tell you what, it is what it is, man. It wasn't bad. It wasn't good. It was good to see Taker back in the ring against someone other than Kane or the FBI. Again, that's all we've seen. Booker looked good, I'll say, in this match as far as physically. But there wasn't a soul on this planet that was going to beat Undertaker right here. So it didn't matter who it was. It might as well have been Rene Dupree. So it just happened to be Booker T, like you said, kind of stalled his momentum that he was building. But again, he's being built as a big-time heel. JBL is, and now the Dudleys are too. So that's your heel. That's your heel side of your roster, like at the top of the card. Those guys, and I mean, I love Booker T. I do. Dudleys are great, but that just doesn't stand up to like the top of the card mega heels. You know what I'm saying? So it's what it is, man.
It's definitely
like Broscon, Angle's hurt for what? Big Show's out too. Yeah. So they've kind of been dealt a bunch of ugly stuff, a bunch of ugly hands. So
it's definitely a rough patch for SmackDown, a rebuilding phase, and we're going to talk about that more next week as we keep this hearse ride rolling onto the last ride and cover Great American Bash 2004, the Concrete Crypt match against the Dudley Boys. Oh, boy.
Hands down, one of the worst pay-per-views of all time.
It really is.
No hyperbole aside. Like, no hyperbole at all. That's seriously one of the worst pay-per-views we're ever going to talk about.
And I have seen that one before, and that's why I'm dreading going back to it. But before we get there, we want to hear what you thought about this match, about this build-up, Undertaker's return to TV and SmackDown. So hit us up on social media at Talking Taker on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Give us your thoughts and ratings and reviews of this match. Stuff we missed, stuff you liked, stuff you hated. Tell us all of that. Leave a comment on any of our podcast pages, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, Podbean, YouTube, all that good stuff. We read all the comments, and we appreciate it. If you leave a rating, a review, if you subscribe to the podcast on any of those services, that does a huge amount to help us. And the best thing, of course, you can do is to just spread the word. Share about it on your social media page. Share it with your friends who enjoy wrestling and help support the show in that way. If you want to support us financially, you can head over to TeePublic.com. The shirts are on sale this week, so get them 35% off, and all the other stuff, mugs, stickers, all that good stuff. TeePublic.com, search for Talking Taker on there, and you can find the Taker Easy shirt or any of the old Biker Taker merch, and we may have some new merch up there here in the months to come in this new phase of Undertaker, but you can always pick up the classic Taker Easy shirt if you want to support the show in that way. And
I wear 2 or 3 of mine to work literally every week. So
support the show
every week.
I can't wear mine to work, but I do wear them around town quite a bit. So
people ask me what they are and what it means, and I gotta shout out to my buddy at church too. Brett, he listens every week, man, and every week he's like, "It's a good show. It's a good show."
Thank you, Brett.
Enjoy. Yes.
Thank you for listening. We do have some other listeners on Twitter. We put ask for your comments on this match, so I'll read you these. Keegan, I don't know if I'm going to say this right, Dmitry Yejevic. Tell me how to say your name, Keegan, because you comment a lot. You've been following us a lot. Keegan Dmitry Yejevic. I don't know.
Of course, yeah.
Thank you. He said, "This is such a great character transformation for Undertaker. The ABA gimmick had ran its course. It was time to go back to the original." He said his 04 return was amazing, and it's what SmackDown needed with Brock gone and Angle injured.
Sure.
And his only gripe is that we didn't get a Taker and Eddie Guerrero feud during this time, which we're going to get them in a Fatal 4-Way here at the end of the year, but we don't get that singles run. And I agree, man. That could have been really cool.
That'd have been sweet. I don't care if face or face heel or whatever. I don't care who's the face or who's the heel. That'd have been great.
The Twisted Turnbuckle on Twitter at WWE Nostalgic 22. They said, and I don't know if this is, I hadn't heard this before, but it kind of makes sense, that this was originally supposed to be Brock versus Taker after Brock defeated Goldberg at Mania 20. But obviously plans changed when Lesnar walked out, called it quits. So everything changed after that. So, I could see that, and definitely would have added some star power to SmackDown if Lesnar was still hanging around.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd never heard that before, but that's the case, and would have been pretty nifty, even if it was going to the well one more time.
Yeah.
I could watch Brock and Taker go.
Oh, it would have been great
all the time. So.
And we will see it here eventually in a few years. But here's an interesting one from the Downturn podcast. Man, tell me what your thoughts on this.
Okay.
He said, this match just made me think back, looking back, did Booker T ever really have any classic matches in WWE? He was always good, but I don't think there's any one or two matches I could pick out. And when he said that, I just started thinking, and I was like, there's no match that comes to my head when I'm thinking like great Booker T match in WWE. He's great. I love him. Hall of Famer, incredible performer. Always loved seeing him on TV. But is there one match that jumps to your head? Classic?
Man, yikes. I can name some WCW matches. His Best of 7 with Benoit.
Right.
I have this. There's a TV title match with Rick Martel from '98 that I love. I love that match, and I don't know why. That was the night he fought Martel and Perry Saturn, I think it was. Was it Spring Stampede? Anyway, I love that match. But dude, he might be right.
That's an interesting point.
He's got good vignettes. The King Booker stuff killed me. I died at it. His stuff with Booker, his stuff with Gold Dust was amazing. His tagging with RBD was fun. All his stuff with Austin, the vignettes, the price check on that stuff was hilarious. All these moments, but dude, he might be right. I can't think of a match that's iconic in a good way. The WrestleMania 19 match with Triple H is iconic in a bad way. My favorite Booker T match in WWE might be the tag team title match against Jericho and Christian, where the ring broke. The rope
with Booker T and Goldust. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's one I was thinking of too.
Yeah, you got any other ones?
No,
you mean not Boogie
that's the thing is he's always good. He's always a good, serviceable performer, and his character work and mic work just boosted him over the top. But what's your 5-star Booker T match in WWE? There's not one, and I just didn't realize that. And that I don't think that takes away from him at all.
No.
If anything, it just goes to show you a lot of what we talk about in this podcast is that it's not always what you do in the ring. It's not always moves and all that showy, fancy stuff. You can get over and be a legend and have a great career, and it doesn't always have to be 5-star technical wrestling.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's the king of that, he had some good showings in the Money in the Bank matches too, but again, that's not like he wasn't the star.
It was good. But
you're right, man. That's great observation, Downturn Podcast. Did not see that question coming. So,
and hit us up, listeners, if you remember. What's your best Booker T WWE match? Is there a great one? Not just what's your best one. Is there a really great one? Let us know if there's one we're forgetting, or if you disagree with us. We'll talk about that next week on the show.
Damn.
Yeah, I know. Kind of caught me off guard.
Yeah.
Let me hit a couple other quick housekeeping notes before we take it home here. I didn't mention this last week, but you guys out there, if you're listening at this point, you usually hear a song in the background of our show that often kind of often ties into what we're talking about. Maybe you have to think about it a little bit, or maybe it's something we referenced during the show, but I collected as many of those as I could. Some of them are not on Spotify, but most of them, put them into a Spotify playlist that we link to on all the social media, and it's a weird playlist, and you can listen to it all together, but it was fun for me. I drove around listening to it the past couple weeks, and it oddly kind of makes for a good workout playlist. There's some good intense songs to get you going on there, and some weird ones.
Wrestling songs.
A lot of good wrestling songs on there. So go check that out. We're going to keep adding to that now every week that we've got it out there with all the songs of the week that we put on here in the background of the show. The real versions, not the karaoke versions that we put in there. So go check that out if you like, or subscribe to that Spotify playlist. And then last week, Travis, we didn't, because we recorded a little early, we didn't get to our poll results for the fans poll of the Biker Taker era. So wanted to hit up the fans top 10 before we say goodnight tonight. And again, you can go on to our social media and look at our top 10, or listen back to that episode 99 to hear our top 10 of the Biker Taker era. But we want to get your answers and responses, and we ran a poll on there. So here we go. The fans top 10, and it is a bit different than ours, Travis.
Okay.
So, coming in at number 10 was the Survivor Series 2001, the Team Alliance versus Team WWF. Both made our list. But it's coming in at number 10 for the fans. Number 9 was a match that I had that you did not, which is the Judgment Day 2001 Undertaker versus Stone Cold. Number 9 on the fans' vote. Number 8 was a match we both had in different places. Survivor Series 2000 Undertaker versus Kurt Angle. First, well, not the first, the second of their pay-per-view matches, but the much better version of it.
Well, it's because of the pants.
That's what it had, man. Put him over the top. Number 7 was Undertaker versus RVD from Vengeance 2001. That big hardcore title match. Absolutely. Tied at number 5. We got a two-way tie at number 5. Unforgiven 2002. Undertaker and Brock Lesnar. Their first pay-per-view encounter. And then Undertaker and John Cena from Vengeance 03, which made your list and did not make my list, but a big number 5 spot on there.
There you go. Cool.
Number 4 was Vengeance 2002, that big triple threat match, which I think was both of our number 4s.
Both our number 4, yeah.
So it fits right in there. And then, the top 3 is going to be very similar to ours. We had a tie at number 2, though, with the 2 WrestleMania matches, X7 and X8. Both got the same amount of votes there at number 2. They made almost everyone's list, but there was only one match that was unanimous on everybody's list, and it was our unanimous number 1 as well. So I think unequivocally, I think that spells it out. The best match of the Biker Taker era. No Mercy 2002, Hell in a Cell, Undertaker and Brock Lesnar. We said it. All the fans said it. If you haven't watched that one for some reason, I don't think you can call yourself an Undertaker fan. So,
right.
You gotta go see that one, folks. It's nice to get a unanimous number 1.
Yeah, that's cool, man. We're glad everybody agreed with us, and it's fun because I remember mentioning that's the match I think about when I go back and look at this era, or that era rather. And cool, man. Glad the fans. Thank you guys for chipping in there and going with the poll, and see Vince Russo style, put it on the poll. No Biker fan. I noticed that did not make the cut there.
It got some votes. Yeah, you'd be surprised at what got literally some weird stuff got votes, man.
Yeah, trollers in the troll.
Maybe.
But yeah, cool deal, man. Hell in a Cell, number 1. Was Hell in a Cell was number 1 for our first one too, wasn't it?
I think that was unanimous on the fans' vote as well. So the fans have agreed with us as far as our number 1s every time.
There you go.
In the top 10, all of those made our top 10, at least one of ours. So
yeah,
a lot of agreement there. So like Travis said, we do appreciate you guys being part of the community and the conversation. We appreciate your support, guys. We say it every single week. Guys and gals. Few gals out there that we know of. So hit us up. We love hearing from you and hearing your comments. So never be shy about talking to us.
That's right. Don't be shy. It's like Cat Stevens says, that will not be the song on this episode because I just hit it on the nose there. But anyway, yeah. And if you were there again, if you were in LA this night back in 2004, you got to see this show. Apologize for some of it, but hey, it could have been worse. It could have been Great American Bash next month. So
I don't know if we have any California people, but we haven't had anybody that was there for one of these shows in a while. So
you haven't.
Hit us up. Yeah, besides us, obviously.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, you're right. We haven't had any.
We need some of you guys back on that.
We do. So if you were there, let us know, and let us know how it was out in LA for the show.
If you were at Extreme Rules, tell us what that was like.
Oh yeah, for sure. If you were there, we'll hit that in a couple years when we get to that episode as well. But yeah, hit us now. We want to know what it was like being there nowadays too. So kind of cool. Yeah, if you were there, let us know. Otherwise, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you next week in the Concrete Crypt. Take her easy.
No, this ain't happening, man. Forget it.
You come so far. Why you gonna leave so soon, man?
Are you mama sangry?
You got questions? Mama Sangre, she got answers.
Alright.
I see a shadow. A shadow from beyond the grave. A shadow of a dead man. And it's reaching out for you, boy. And it's a big black shadow. And it's going to catch up with you, and it's going to grab you and drag you down into the ground, boy.
I know all about this shadow you're talking about. This black shadow. That's why I came to see you. Tell me, what can I do about this shadow?
You need help from the other side, boy.
Other side? What are you talking about?
These are the nails from a coffin of a condemned man. A feather of a crow. Yes, and the fangs from a three-legged dog.
Okay. This it, huh?
No,
No.
there's one more thing that you need that I can't give you.
One more thing. Could you please tell me what you're talking about?
Dirt from a graveyard. A special grave dug up at midnight. Under the full moon. The night's full.
A special grave? What are you talking about? Special grave?
The grave of the man with no name.
Man with no name? How am I supposed to find a grave with no name on it?
It'll find you, boy. It'll find you.
The cards can reveal things that you will never see by yourself. Call me now for your free tarot reading.
Call 1-800-980-8637.